Now I'm going to show you the exact same process of spot heating and lowering the medial arch, this time with polypropylene material orthoses. Polypropylene is a little more challenging because it takes longer to heat. It doesn't quite forgive as precisely with pressure as does the composite material, so you have to be a little bit more patient. So here again is a pair of custom foot orthoses, and if we line them up, we can see that the right orthotic is a little higher than the left, and this is our starting point. And in most cases, that happens to be that the right orthotic is the one that's irritating the medial arch. It's not always that way. Again, we use both pair side by side so that we have a point of reference of where we started. We look at that, we study it, and we say, I'm going to lower this right arch, but I don't want to make it go any lower than the left arch because that's probably going to overcorrect it. We've already marked the orthotic with a pen or a piece of tape. After holding it up to the patient's foot, we know exactly where that arch is too high. Sometimes it's a focal point, sometimes it's the whole arch. But you know ahead of time how much and what location you want to lower. So we've got the two reference pairs there. We're going to move this reference pair out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and heat. Now this will take us a little longer. This will take at least 30 seconds to a minute to get hot enough. A clue is the top surface of the polypropylene gets very shiny when it's pliable. So you'll use a visual clue looking at the top of the orthotic. When you see it get shiny, you know it's hot enough. So it just became shiny. You'll notice that I heated a wider surface area because polypropylene requires a little bigger surface area to widen. Now notice when I push down that it deforms. And I use even pressure with all of my fingers down. And in the case of polypropylene, you've got to hold it there a lot longer while it cools. If you let go, you won't get much change. So you're going to hold it for about 30 seconds. And what I recommend is go ahead and bring your reference pair up. And there we go. We're lined up very nicely with the left arch. And we're just going to hold that and let it cool. Polypropylene, you can overheat it. If you overheat it, it begins to bubble. And it permanently deforms the appearance of the device, which can be upsetting to the patient because they might think that you ruined their orthotic. So just be careful. Heat it just to the point you see it get shiny, but don't overheat. So I'm going to take my hand away, and I'd say that's pretty good. It's lined up pretty nicely. I might give it one more push just for another 10 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and run this under cold water too, but it's really just to cool it off for the patient to walk on. If you take your hand off this and go over and run it under cold water, you're going to lose some of the correction real quickly. That's the trouble with the polypropylene. It just has a lot more memory than the graphite does, and it just wants to go back to where it was. So if we look there, we've got a nice even matchup. We've lowered the arch back down about 2 to 3 millimeters, and we can take this device in. Again, we run it under cold water, take it in the room, let the patient walk on it.